and what you do. I blog at justaggerlanderblog.com, where I write mostly about organization and home decor, and I also teach blogging a little bit. My husband Donnie is my business partner, and he does a lot of the technical and behind-the-scenes work on our site. We also have 2 sons, Connor and Caleb, who are 10 and 7 right now. Was Just a Girl and Her blog your first blog, and why did you start it? I dabbled in blogging a tiny bit before I started Just a Girl and Her blog. Donnie and I had a little blog together for a few weeks one time that didn't get it very far. I also had a handmade jewelry business for a short time with my mother-in-law and sisters-in-law, and we had a blog that went with that. In both cases, I had no idea what I was doing, so I would say Just a Girl and Her blog was the first real blog that I had and stuck with for more than a few weeks. I started Just a Girl and Her blog because I was a stay-at-home mom with my 2 boys who were 1 and 3 at the time. I loved being home with them, but I also needed some sort of project, something that I did for me that wasn't all about them. I wasn't 100% sure what a blog really was, but I have a degree in English education, so I thought I could at least use my writing skills and have a creative outlet. I didn't really ever think that anybody would actually read what I wrote, but I'm thankful that it didn't work out the way I had planned. When did you first realize blogging could turn into a real business? I would say the first time I realized that blogging could be a business was when I had been at it for a little over a year. Donnie wrote a guest post for my blog about the system that he uses to keep our family pretty much paperless. We use Evernote and digital tools to file all of our paperwork rather than an actual physical filing cabinet in our house. In that post, he linked to an ebook that he recommended and also to the scanners that he uses to keep our house paperless. Shortly after he wrote the post, it kind of took off, and a bunch of people started buying the ebook and scanners that he recommended. One night I was at Target and Donnie texted me and said, "Guess what happened on Just a Girl and Her blog today?" I told him that I had no idea, and he said, "We made $500 from the affiliate links that I put in the paperless post." And I didn't believe him. I actually made him email the author of the ebook that we had recommended to make sure that it wasn't some sort of error, because I thought that there was no way we could make that much money in one day. But it wasn't an error. It was real. That was the aha moment where it hit me that it actually was possible to make money online. And that this little hobby blog that I had started, that no one was ever supposed to read, was turning into a business that could help to support our family. How has blogging changed your life as a stay-at-home mom? So many ways. First, it allowed me to connect with people from all over the world who I never would have gotten to meet otherwise, which I love. Blogging has also given me a lot of confidence. I'm fairly shy by nature. In fact, I used to be afraid to even call the utility company to discuss a bill because I was afraid they would yell at me, so I would make Donnie do that sort of thing. But the more I've gotten into blogging, the more it has brought me out of my shell and given me the confidence to be able to interact with people and to figure out who I am and how I can help others. And then, of course, both Donnie and I are now able to work at blogging full-time, which means we have a lot of flexibility. We get to spend time with our kids. We don't have a work schedule ruling our life. We kind of get to make our own rules, so that has been life-changing as well. What was your first blog monetization method, and how much were you earning in the early days? The first way I ever monetized the blog was just by putting a couple of Google AdSense ads on the site. I think we made about $10 the first month that we had AdSense ads up. Then it took us around 3 or 4 months to get to the $100 threshold, where they actually pay out the money you've earned. So it was a small start, but everyone has to start somewhere, and it all grew from there. How much is Just a Girl and Her blog making per month now, and in what ways? Our income varies based on what we have going on that month. If we have a launch of one of our products or an affiliate sale of something that we're promoting, our income will jump. And then on the months that we don't really have any major events or promotions, we don't see as much of a spike. We make a large portion of our income from sales of our own products. We also make affiliate sales on others' products or some of the services that we use and recommend to others. We just put ads back on our site very minimally after not having any ads for about 18 months, so we make some money from ad income. And then occasionally I will do sponsored posts and make money that way, although I don't do many of those. How many monthly page views does the blog get, and where is most of the traffic coming from? We typically get between 350,000 to 500,000 page views, depending on the month. Google is our #1 traffic source, followed by Pinterest. How do you stay on top of your Pinterest game? I use Tailwind, a scheduling service, to help me with Pinterest. I dug in and did some research when I first started using Tailwind to figure out the best, most efficient way to use it, and then I trained my sister, who's my assistant, on the system I use. She does most of my Pinterest scheduling for me at this point. We will meet every other month or so to tweak the system and take a look at what's working and what's not, but she pretty much has it under control. She and I will both also go in and do some live painting from time to time. What content on your blog performs best and why? My organization content performs best. The majority of my content is in the organization category, and I probably put the most time and effort into it. I try to offer organizing printables whenever I can because I think they make it easier for people to take the things that I'm teaching on the blog and apply them in their own lives. The posts with organizing printables usually get a good amount of traffic. But really anything that people can follow step by step, anything that is going to help people in a practical way in their own lives, are the types of posts that tend to get the most traffic on my site. What are your top strategies for growing an email list? My strategy for growing my email list